Welcome to Keeping It 100 Coalition Conversations, the official podcast of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter. I'm your host, Shanice Lewis, and today we have a very special edition in honor of Giving Tuesday, a global day of generosity and community impact. This episode is dedicated to the heart of our mission, uplifting Black women and girls through transformative work in health, education, economic empowerment, and public policy. Our guests today are three dynamic leaders of the Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter who help drive this mission forward every day. Chapter President Denage Piper, First Vice President of Programs, Dr. Stovall, and Second Vice President of Finance and Fund Development, Dannielle Lewis. Together, they'll share insights on the programs that are changing lives, the goals behind our Giving Tuesday campaign, and why your support is essential to the work we do. Whether you've been rocking with us all year or you're tuning in for the very first time, this is your opportunity to be a part of something bigger. Giving Tuesday isn't just about making a donation, it's about investing in a movement that strengthens families, builds leaders, and transforms communities. So sit back, get inspired, and join us as we keep it 100 about purpose, impact, and how you can help us drive our mission forward today. And let's welcome everybody to the stage. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Doing
How's
good.
everybody doing today?
We're good. How are you?
Good. So we are going into the Thanksgiving holidays, but we are always talking about what we're grateful for and thankful for, but we also want to be thankful for the work that we're doing in the community and how we're changing lives every day. So what excites you most about where the Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter is headed as we move towards 2026?
Well, honestly, I'm excited because you can feel that we're moving into a season where the work is not only expanding, but the outcomes are growing right along with it. You see it in our programs. You see it in the women stepping into leadership. You see it in the girls who now believe that their dreams actually have a path forward. What excites me most is knowing that we're building something sustainable, something that will still be empowering Black women and girls long after 2026. And Giving Tuesday is a huge part of helping us get there.
Now, how does our chapter uniquely serve and uplift Black women and girls in the Baton Rouge community?
Well, what makes our chapter unique is that we center Black women and girls in everything that we do, every program, every initiative, and every advocacy effort. We're not guessing about what our community needs. We're living it, we are listening, and we're responding with programs that are culturally relevant, measurable, and life-changing. Just like our health equity programs, which you see things like our Be Healthy Fair and our Maternal Health Summit, education and literacy, our Black Girls Love to Read initiative, economic empowerment, our pay equity summit, our mentorship program where we're pouring into girls who need to see women who look like them leading, succeeding, and showing them what's possible. And our public policy, that advocacy arm, right, where we're making sure our voices, the voices of Black women and girls, influence the decisions that impact their lives. We don't just create programs. We're creating pathways, healing spaces, and opportunities. And we're doing it with all our heart.
So why is Giving Tuesday such an important moment for organizations like ours that focus on empowering Black women and girls?
Well, it's cost to play. You know, you got to pay to play. So if we're paying to play, then we want to be in these spaces where we can greatly impact these young girls. Giving Tuesday matters for us because our mission is bigger than our budget. We have a champagne mission on what sometimes feels like a beer budget, right? And so we're trying to bridge the gap to the champagne. And our community deserves programs that match the magnitude of their potential. And so the truth is, organizations that center Black women and girls often receive the least philanthropic support, even though we carry some of the greatest burdens in health, education, and economics. So Giving Tuesday is our moment to flip the script. When someone gives to NCBW MBR on Giving Tuesday, they're not just making a donation. They're making a statement that Black women and girls in Baton Rouge are worth investing in.
Now I'm going to head over to programs. So Dr. Nishan Stovall, as the leader overseeing programs, what are some of the chapter's biggest accomplishments this year?
So I first like to say that many of our viewers may not know our program year actually starts in July. So we don't have a January through December calendar that we run. And so generally we start off first quarter with planning, and then second, third, fourth quarter is execution time. So during second quarter, we had several major events that we launched, starting with our inaugural tailgate that was at Southern University in October, and that was for breast cancer awareness. We also had our annual domestic violence event. This year, we did a panel discussion that was very enlightening. And then we also kicked off our unapologetic Be the 100 mentorship program. So excited about starting all of those and also what's to come.
So, which programs do you feel created the most measurable impact in the lives of women and girls we serve?
So, for this program year so far, I am going to say the tailgate. It was a different experience for us. The demographics that we served at the tailgate was different from what we usually do with our annual program for breast cancer awareness. So we were able to service people who don't look like us, which included non-African American women and men, as well as a younger demographic. So we were able to catch a lot of college students, both male and female, at the tailgate and explain to them some of the signs and early detection. Generally, you're about 40 when you have your first mammogram. However, if something is detected when you have your first mammogram at 40, it means that it could have been detected a little bit sooner. And so being able to touch a younger demographic was showing them giving them those tools and showing them exactly how to perform an exam on themselves helps us to be able to touch those people a lot sooner so that we can have a greater impact on preventative measures.
And I think that we met people where they were. Like, we were in the streets with them at that event. It wasn't just, where we were in a room hosting an event in closed confines. We were out at a tailgate where people were having a good time and they learned something.
Right. Now, before we go to the next questions, somebody's already asking in the comments, where can I donate? They're ready to give their money.
I will let Madam Second answer that question, but I believe that question is coming from someone who's going to donate.
Tell them to wait till Giving Tuesday.
But Madam Second, let her know.
So you can actually donate tonight if you want to, but I'm looking at the last name and I believe she's going to donate directly through a sister, but she can definitely donate tonight through the QR code that is on the screen right now, and that will go directly to our donations page. But if you want to wait until Giving Tuesday because you know that you are proud of a specific sister that is doing an awesome job, you can wait to go through another QR code that will allow you to be able to donate through that sister's name. So we are not going to shy away from you donating tonight. And if you feel extra generous, you can come on back on Giving Tuesday and donate directly through that sister as well.
Money.
And we're laughing because that's a mother. Our mothers are some of our biggest supporters. So
always.
So back to the program. What new or upcoming initiatives are you excited about for 2026?
So before we get to 2026, just next week, actually, we have a new program. We are partnering with World's AIDS Day. So we'll have an in-person representation at the event on Monday, December 1st. But we're also hosting a an evening event that's going to be a webinar, and we're going to be talking about destigmatizing prep. So what I'll say about that is when I look at the commercials, when I look at marketing for prep, I don't see me. I've never seen me, but I should. And so a lot of women who look like me in my age, we don't think that we should be on prep. We don't think that we need it. But it is a preventative tool that is really for everyone. But I don't always see myself in the marketing, and I didn't until now. And so that was a national initiative that came down that made me have a different outlook. And I think that we need to explore it in our community. And so we're looking forward to hosting that event on Monday, December 1st at 7. It's going to be a webinar, so very easy to chime in. We're going to have it a panel that's going to be moderated by one of our sisters who's in healthcare, and that's Sister Nashana Bilbrew, who's an RN. And then we'll also have 4 panelists as well.
And if one of the sisters will put the registration link in the Facebook chat, then everybody will be able to see how you register for that event. So how does the chapter identify the community's needs when shaping program priorities?
So I think we start with what's in our toolkit, and that's going to be first looking at our initiatives. So our initiatives are health, education, and economic empowerment. And so we want to make sure that we thrive and educate and advocate in those areas. And we do that through our arm of public policy. So we'll talk about that, I know, a little bit later. So once we look at those initiatives, we take a look at our local area and what disparities do we have? Where are we lacking and where do we need to educate? And that's how we formulate our local programming. But we also have national initiatives called resolutions that come down from our national office, where we are looking at things from a national perspective that are impacting Black women and girls. And so we also take those resolutions and we look at how we can incorporate them in our local programming as well.
So can you share a story or a moment from this year that truly illustrates the power of our programming?
I think I have to go back to the tailgate, and I don't want to just keep talking about the tailgate, but when you have the Southern University marching band, the human jukebox, the band director come and stop at your tailgate and learn how to detect lumps in a breast. When you have the quarterback, when you have the cheerleaders. So we're talking about Jaguar Nation visiting our tailgate and being able to take a prosthetic and feel for lumps. And so we had an amazing staff. Our health committee put this program on. And so the biggest thing that I can take away is having young men being able to learn how to detect lumps in a breast. I think that that is a game changer. Them understanding that they can be impacted through their mothers, through their girlfriends, significant others, but most importantly, themselves. And so I think that that was another way that we were able to target a demographic that we're not able to always target with our programming, because we do focus on women and girls, but women and girls are impacted by what's going on with the men in our lives. And so if you have a son, a brother, a father, a cousin, or someone who is influential in your life that is impacted by breast cancer, or one of the women in our lives who's impacted by breast cancer, it also impacts the males in their lives. So I feel like that was a holistic approach to what we're doing in the community.
And so now we're going to switch gears to finance and fund development. So, Madam Second VP, how does donor support fuel the work we do across our key program areas?
So donor support is literally what keeps our mission alive, right? Every dollar becomes an action. It turns into curriculums for our mentees. It turns into resources for us to help women rebuild their lives. We have advocacy that changes laws. We have health education that actually saves lives. But we've seen firsthand what happens when donors invest in us. Women gain confidence to negotiate salaries. They walk away with life-changing increases. We've seen families receive access to vital resources they didn't even know existed. And we've even seen girls enter into leadership spaces where they're feeling more powerful. They're feeling prepared to actually get into those spaces. So our donors don't just give. They are what we call the activators of change within our chapter. Their support turns small moments that we may have into lifelong impact.
So, what are the financial goals for this year's Giving Tuesday campaign? And the question everybody wants to know is how will those funds be used?
So our goal this year is $20,000, and those funds will go directly to strengthening our programs, making sure that our community has something that they can depend on. And when we say funds, we're talking about the ability to host more workshops, expand the economic empowerment initiatives. We want to increase the access to health screenings. We want to deepen the advocacy work that we are already creating ripple effects in Louisiana. This $20,000 that we are trying to raise is going to help us reach women that we know are often overlooked. They're unheard. They're underserved. It's the foundation that allows us to create generational change. We are going to take those moments of impact and we are going to build them into lasting transformation with those funds.
Why is it meaningful for donors to invest specifically in organizations uplifting Black women and girls?
Well, we have seen in society that when Black women and girls are rising, the whole community rises with them, right? Investing in us means that you're investing in stability, you're investing in leadership, financial mobility, as well as emotional wellness and the future workforce in this city. So we are also going to be correcting what I like to say, and everybody else knows it's a historical imbalance. Just like Madam President said earlier, Black women and girls are the least funded, yet we carry some of the deepest community burdens. And so when donors choose us, they're choosing equity. They're choosing to uplift voices and experiences that have been ignored for a very long time. And they're also telling us that we see you, we believe in you, and we're ready to invest so that, the entire community can thrive.
And I like to say this through our the work that we're doing, these silent voices are becoming louder. And so what I say that because there is confidence in the folks that we're touching. There's confidence within our membership. There's confidence around the work that we're doing and the advocacy work that is so important to Black women and girls, because growing up, there weren't any organizations like this in my neighborhood, right? And so for the girls in this community to have an organization like ours with professional Black women who are committed to the cause, creating programs that's working great for them, then it just shows how much we care. Is how I feel about it. It's we're here for them. We're in this community. The chapter is not going anywhere, and we're trying to get to these dollars so that we can help expand our reach. Because what we know is if we do it by ourselves, then it's going to take us a longer time to reach the masses. But if we do it as a group collectively, then we can touch more lives faster. And do it as a group is the 100 Black women doing it as a group with other groups that look like us. And so it's deepening the relationship that we have within the community and letting the community know that we are here, we care, and we're trying to, do the right thing for the young women that look like us.
So what are some creative ways people can support the chapter beyond monetary donations? Because it's a hard time for some people right now.
Yeah, and so we know that impact doesn't always show up as dollars. Sometimes it shows up as connection. So you can definitely support us by sharing our programs. You see the flyers, share those on social media. You can even invite someone to an event so that they can come learn with you. Volunteer your skills. We are always looking for women to come out and volunteer and show us, what they have going on in the community. Or you can actually help us by building partnerships between us and other businesses and organizations. Even something as simple as, like I said, reposting our content, it allows us to bring awareness and bring newer supporters into our fold. Sometimes support, doesn't look like money, but it looks like the influence that you may have, big or small. We're looking for you to help us to reach the masses.
So, what is the easiest way for people to donate? We've said it one time, but we're going to keep saying it over and over. Can they give directly through the website? Where should they go?
So definitely, like I said earlier, if you are feeling generous tonight, you can donate through the QR code that you're seeing on the screen. But if you are unable to donate tonight and you want to give on Giving Tuesday, we will have a QR code that will take you directly to the donation page so that you have no reason to even guess about how to get those funds to us, right? But the best part and what I enjoyed working with our technology chair on this was that we have set it up to where that if they feel they want to be a part of one specific sister, right? You're connected to the 100 through one specific sister. You will be able to donate directly through their name. And this will allow you to show that sister that you are proud of the work that she is putting in with our chapter. So it's only going to take a minute. But we do know that it's going to mean the world to our chapter as well as to the women and the girls that we are currently serving and in the future.
And I also like to add, one of the things I say often is you don't have to be a sister in the 100 to be a sister to the 100. So everyone who wants to know how to get involved, maybe you can't serve as a panelist, maybe you're not an expert in a certain area, but you can definitely show up and show out by donating to us, but also just coming to be a part and also sharing the mission and the vision of what we do. We have touched a lot of people in our community, but there are also some people who have never heard of us. We got to be honest about that, right? And so more people will hear about us, not from our ads and campaign and marketing, but from word of mouth. So when you see some of the good things that are going on and you're impacted, like right now, you're watching right now. Are you watching alone, or did you share this information so that someone else could see what it is that we're doing? Because you are already in the know. So help some others be in the know. So I would like to say, be a sister to the 100, share our events, but also share our impacts and what we have going on.
And so, how does our chapter engage in public policy work that directly affects Black women and girls?
So I'll take this one. Our chapter engages in public policy work in a number of ways. I like to first affirm that we are a nonpartisan organization. We are a nonpartisan organization. We address and advocate for issues that impact our communities. So we're looking at what is the problem and what is a solution. And also, who do we need to join forces with us to be a part of that solution? So we want to have impacts and evoke change, not just in the community, but in individuals to be able to mobilize and stabilize for things that impacts us, for people who look like us. One of the things that I'll say is we take a two-pronged approach. The first prong I would say is we are proactive. So we're proactive with our programming, with our training, we're educating, we're advocating, right? But then some things just happen and we got to kind of show up and pop off. So we can't plan for certain things, right? And so that's that second prong. We're also reactive, where we have to show up and say, wait a minute, this isn't right. Wait a minute, this is harming our Black women and girls. Wait a minute, this is impacting people who look like us in our community, and we have to take a stand on it. And so that's that second prong that we look at. What I will say is, with our programming and our training, we are teaching individuals how to be confident, but not only how to be confident, but also to be competent, because you can't be loud and wrong. One of the things that will hurt a mission, that will hurt a campaign, that will hurt when we are trying to evoke change is if you are loud and wrong, because people will be behind you. But then as soon as you say something that is out of line, that's wrong, that's inaccurate, it causes the mission to fail. And so one of the things that we want to do when we're advocating and we're teaching others how to advocate is to make sure that we have both of those things. We don't want to just be loud and have the power and have the voice behind us, but we want to also be accurate and correct so that we are trusted in the community. When we speak, others listen.
All right. So, what policy wins or advocacy moments from this year stand out to you?
Well, one of the biggest advocacy moments this year was really watching our chapter step fully in its voice, loudly, boldly, and unapologetically on issues that directly impact Black women and girls in our Baton Rouge community. A standout win to us, while we didn't win at the ballot, it was our in the legislative session. A standout win was our collective action around redistricting and fair maps, standing firm with the Power Coalition. Our chapter didn't just talk about advocacy, we activated it. We drafted letters, we educated our members, and we stood firmly against legislation that would weaken the Black vote. And we did it in alignment with our mission and with professionalism, clarity, and conviction. That moment reminded us that when Black women speak up, things shift. So while we're not winning everything, right? We have to let our voices be heard. And so another moment I'm proud of is our leadership in maternal health advocacy. We elevated Black maternal mortality as a public health crisis. We brought experts to the table and provided direct education to hundreds of families. I say hundreds of families because it was something that we done via Zoom. So and broadcasted it on Facebook. I believe it's on our YouTube channel. And so we're trying to reach more people so that we can broaden our reach. That work is saving lives, not metaphorically, but literally. And finally, our chapter showed up in public policy spaces where we were not previously seen, whether it was representing at legislative sessions, participating in civic coalitions, or training our members on how to influence policy. And we do that through something that we call 100 Day at the Capitol, where we trained our members last year. And I thought it was a really great opportunity for us to gather together, learn together, and put some action to our steps that we learned earlier in that day. And this year proved that we're not just a service organization. That's what we're not. And so we are an advocacy organization. And that is something that we distinguish ourselves from other organizations where you have all women together, right? We're an advocacy organization and we're proudly advocating. These wins stand out because they represent something bigger. Black women shaping policy, shifting outcomes, and building the kind of community that we deserve. And I believe I know what type of community that I deserve, right? Because I am who I am. There's only one me, right? But there are many Black women in this community who are impacted in ways that I am as well. That's why it's important for us to show up, show out, and not be loud and wrong, like Madam First said, right? While we are boldly, marching forward, we want to make sure that we are accurately representing at all times excellence within our community.
So how can community members get involved in our advocacy efforts, even if they're new to this work?
Well, I know, everyone may be listening and they're like, oh my God, y'all do a lot, right? Like y'all are involved in everything. But what I'm going to say tonight is start small, right? Just show up. Advocacy begins with one step, one email, one event, one moment of you saying, what can I do to understand what is happening in my community? You can join our email list. You can attend one of our events, respond to an advocacy alert when we are putting it out there stating that we need individuals to show up at the polls. You can be a part. Just start, right? You can get connected through the conversations that we're having, sharing our social media posts, being the voice to those that we can't touch. That's where you can join in. And so we can definitely help guide you every single step of the way, but we have to first allow you to take that first step. So being ready to join with us and being ready to learn, being ready to ask questions if you feel like you don't know what to say, when you are approached by someone who may be asking you a question on what's going on in the community. Just be willing to lend your voice even when it's actually shaking. You don't have to have confidence. I tell everyone, I talk to people all the time. And they say, well, I'm not born with confidence. No one is born with confidence, but it's built. It's built. So just being willing to open up and state what needs to be said, even when your voice is shaking. So there's work to be done. And there's a place for everyone to work at. So if you are not wanting to be on the stage, that is okay. But be willing to be there so that you can share what needs to be shared.
So what would you say to someone who wants to donate, but they feel their contribution might be too small to matter?
I'm going to tell you this. Their giving has power. I have seen where, and I know on the screen, I forgot to put my second VP of Finance and Fund Development. So it's showing economic empowerment chair right now. I've seen where we have had a $25 donation to a program turn into true momentum. It's showing us that people really need what we are giving, right? And so those seemingly small gifts that the community feels like it doesn't matter, they matter. And it shows us that what we're working toward is a mission that's truly, truly important. So every single contribution helps us reach another woman. It helps us empower another girl. It even helps us fight towards another policy that will protect our community. So every piece that they're giving, it matters. Their giving matters. That's all I'm gonna be able to tell them.
And you said $25, but $5 is good too.
I want to say this. Michelle Obama mentioned, people saying that this will be something about numbers, where people feel that their vote doesn't matter, right? And then you look at these races where someone won by 5 votes or 10 votes in these metropolis areas. And so it's the same way with dollars. Your dollar matters to us. And so if it is $5, $20, $25, $100, $1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, thousands, a million, I don't know. Whatever the Lord puts on your heart to give to us, we are excited to take. But it is something to note that if everyone was to contribute a portion of something, then it would definitely help us reach our goal. And so your dollar matters.
I'd like to add, programs cost money.
Yes.
They are not free. And so while we are not a service organization, we are an advocacy organization, but many of our programs, we have individuals walking away with something tangible. And that costs money. Even in some cases, we have venues that we have to rent. We have certain items that we have to pay for. So we have expenses that we have to cover in order to put on these world class, and I'm gonna claim that, world class programs. They're not free. Even this platform right now, we have to pay for it to be on here. So we're not charging you all a fee to watch us talk about us and to share this information with you all. You're on social media or you're on YouTube and you're getting access to this content for free. We have the webinar that I mentioned coming up next week. That is at no cost to our viewers. However, it is a cost to us. And so every time we put out a program that is at no cost, that is a cost to us. And the way that we're able to do that is through donated dollars and or member dollars. And so we have to get donated dollars to be able to expand our reach in the community and to be able to put forth these programs that have greater impact.
And I'm gonna touch just real quickly when Madam First just finished speaking. It We can get those locations, and so you may have a building or you have access to a building, right? In-kind donations. We can take the monetary donations, but if you're saying, hey, I would love for you to be able to use my building to be able to put on your program, we will gladly accept that, because those funds will be able to be pushed towards us doing the actual program and not having to pay for a building. So if you're able, if you have that in your repertoire, definitely reach out to us, so that you can actually go ahead and we can work out how you can actually be a part of giving through those types of giving donations.
And I'll add this last. These donations on Giving Tuesday are donations directly to our chapter outside of an event that you are paying to go to, directly impact our chapter's bottom line. And so there are no expenses related to the donation. It's you giving your $5, $10, and those dollars are directly impacting our chapter's budget. So I'm excited about it, and I hope everyone else is.
So, what is your vision for the chapter's future if we meet and surpass our Giving Tuesday goals?
Okay, so if we meet or even surpass our Giving Tuesday goals, my vision is that our chapter becomes an unstoppable force for Black women and girls in Baton Rouge. When our funding grows, our impact grows. It's that simple. Okay, so let's just imagine a chapter where no girl has to choose between dreaming and access, because our scholarships are fully funded and our mentorship programs have everything they need. Imagine our health programming scales so more women receive life-changing screenings, more mothers get maternal health support, and more families feel seen, informed, and empowered. Imagine our education initiatives expand, giving even more girls the opportunity to explore STEAM, literacy, leadership, and college pathways with confidence. Imagine our advocacy reaches deeper, ensuring that when policies are crafted in this city and in this state, the needs of Black women and girls are not an afterthought, they are centered. Imagine we build capacity, strengthening the chapter's infrastructure so we can do the work sustainably with excellence and at a higher level year after year. Surpassing our goals would mean that cost is no longer the barrier to the vision. It means we can move from what can we afford to what can we imagine.
Well, that was beautiful.
Imagine that, Madam President.
Imagine. Imagine our purse so big we can't even hold the money in it. Imagine.
Well, any final words before we close this out?
Well, I want to say, as the second VP of Finance and Fund Development, make my job hard. I want you all to make my job hard. My job is to take record of all the donations coming in on Giving Tuesday. I want you all to make my job extremely hard. Do what you need to do to be able to make that happen for me.
Anybody else?
I like to say we haven't often participated in Giving Tuesday. I think this may be our second time participating in Giving Tuesday. And so we want a record. Like, we want to win, but we want a record. So I think that, imagine if we surpass our goals, but we want to most definitely beat the last record that we had, right? And gain momentum. And this is a way that we're able to invite you all to come in and support and to be a part of the mission. You can't come to every program. You're not a member, so you can't oversee a program. But the way that you can definitely touch and impact lives and be a part of this is to be able to help us to sustain the programming. And doing that would be amazing if you could donate on Giving Tuesday.
And Madam President, any final words before we go?
I just say, imagine a day that we have all the money that we can ever want and need, right? Just imagine the possibilities that the 100 Black Women Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter can accomplish through our advocacy efforts for Black women and girls. I believe it. I believe we can do it. I think it starts there. You have to believe that you can meet this goal and or surpass the goal. I believe it. And so in my belief, I believe that we are going to show up for each other on Giving Tuesday, and we are going to prove to ourselves that this is just a small obstacle that we are hoping to cross, right? While it seems big in this moment, when you cross it, you be like, dang, I can't believe we did that. We did that. And so I believe that we can do it. And so, I'm just imagining this world where we can touch these lives in that way. And so, the sky's the limit, and I'm ready for it.
Well, thank you, ladies, for being on the show tonight. You are all doing amazing work, and this is going to be one of our biggest Giving Tuesdays to date. So thank you for all of you doing for our chapter.
Thank you, Sister Shanice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you've been inspired by what you're hearing today, we invite you to support the mission of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter. Your generosity directly helps us uplift Black women and girls through life-changing programs in health, education, economic empowerment, and public policy. Giving is easy. Just visit our website and click the donate button. For Giving Tuesday, we have a special link, but you can give every day. Your contribution, no matter the amount, helps us expand our reach, strengthen our programs, and create opportunities for women and girls in our community. Every dollar truly makes a difference. Your support fuels our advocacy, our events, our scholarships, and our ability to show up where we are needed most. So today, we ask you to stand with us, support the mission, support the movement, and most importantly, support the women and girls whose lives are transformed by the work we do. Make your Giving Tuesday gift today and help us continue making an impact that lasts far beyond this movement. I've been your host this evening, Shanice Lewis, on behalf of the Metropolitan Baton Rouge chapter and President Denage Piper. Thank you for tuning in to Keeping It 100 Coalition Conversation. And until next time, God bless.